In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Hello again. Yesterday we finished up a parable that is terribly misunderstood, but I think it's very simple. And we see the lesson that Jesus wanted us to get when we saw the last verse where he said, man cannot serve two masters. You're either going to serve the world or you're going to serve the kingdom of God. You're either going to serve the ruler of this realm, the enemy, Satan himself, or you're going to serve God. But you get to choose, but you have to choose because it's one or the other. Well, we're coming into a group of verses. It's Luke 16 and verses 14 through 18. And these may seem like kind of a hodgepodge, but they sit between the parable I just talked about and another parable that gives us clear distinction between eternity with God and eternity without God. And so I believe this is still talking about that dichotomy. Are you putting your hope in the world and in yourself, or are you putting your hope in the kingdom of God and in God who knows you and loves you? So verse 14 says this, now the Pharisees, who were lovers of money, they had words for God, but they didn't love him. They loved their money, and they were listening to all the things that Jesus was saying, and they were scoffing at him. See, because they loved their position, they loved their pride, they loved their money. And Jesus said to them, you are those who justify yourselves in the sight of men. That's why I put the picture today that says, believe in yourself. No, I said no, exclamation point. You believe in God. And if you do, he believes in you. But the Pharisees had confidence in themselves. But God knows their heart, for that which is highly esteemed among men, are you listening, is detestable in the sight of God. What happened in the garden was Adam and Eve ate the tree that said, put confidence in yourself. What do you need God for? Don't do that. Put your confidence in God. And that's what Jesus was saying to the Pharisees. Verse 16, the law and the prophets were proclaimed until John. And since that time, the gospel of the kingdom has been preached. You guys are all about following law and putting on a show. And yeah, that was the deal until John the Baptist came and paved the way for Jesus. And now that Jesus is here, it's all about the kingdom of God. And so, as the kingdom of God is preached, everyone is forcing his way into it. There's a violence here. What is that violence? You got to tear yourself away from the world, because there are many things in the world, many things in how you lived your life before you were a Christian. The enemy himself that's telling you, are you crazy? You might even be hearing that from your own family. Oh, you're just oversaved. Oh, you're too heavenly minded to be any earthly good. The enemy be trying to pull you back into the things of the world, but you hold on forcefully to the faith that you have in God himself. Verse 17, it's easier for heaven and earth to pass away than for one strike of the letter of the law to fail. It's not saying one letter of the law to be the way to God. No, what it's saying is the law is for your benefit. It will not fail you. And when you go all in with God, when you embrace the kingdom of God, you're going to find that you're obeying the law without even trying to, because you're a kingdom man now, and the law is about how the kingdom works. Absolutely, follow the commandments of God, but not to please God. Follow the commandments because they're for your benefit to do so. They will not fail you. Verse 18, and everyone who divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery. And he who marries one who is divorced from a husband also commits adultery. I've heard this verse used to say, oh my goodness, adultery is so terrible that if you commit adultery, you have lost your salvation. That's not the truth. Oh, we don't not commit adultery to please God, but don't commit adultery. It's to your benefit not to. Okay, many of you know that I've been married before. I am divorced. And I wish I hadn't. I'm saying that. My current wife is going to listen to this, and so she'll hear me say it. I've said it many times in front of her. I wish I hadn't divorced my first wife. It would be better for my kids. It would be better for my wife. I would have what I have now with my current wife. I would have had it with my first wife. It's not a different woman. It is absolutely before without God, but now with God. I wouldn't trade what I have now for anything in the world, but I could have had it with my first wife if I had had my hope in God. If you've been divorced, don't worry about, oh, I've displeased God, I've disappointed God. That is not the truth. You let God be your current marriage, and you go all in with God for the sake of your marriage, and divorce won't even be an issue in the future. The kingdom of God is not at all like the world. Embrace the kingdom. Let go of the world. Whatever you have to do to force yourself to let go and grab hold of the King and his kingdom, that's real living. Yeah, let go of the confidence in yourself, but grab hold of the confidence of the God who's in you. I look forward to being with you tomorrow. I'll see you then.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus.